I'm always ordering seeds from Baker Creek Seeds, but what about live plants? And once you get those live plants, how in the world are we going to be potting them up? These ideally should be potted up outside, but depending on the type of plant that you've ordered, like I have, they are not meant for this type of weather in Pennsylvania in the cold. So we're going to be potting them up as house plants until it is warm enough so we can go outside with them. Let's go pot this up. I'm super excited. And yes, I'm unmasked, people. Unmasked ADHD. That's because I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned that I've been masking way too much. If you want to know more about that, you can go learn that on TikTok, because I talk all about ADHD and everything ADHD that has to do with me on there. These are tropical, humid loving items in here. So what they did was wrap them in plastic, and that's awesome because, as you can see, it is holding on to a lot of humidity, and that's exactly what's needed. Eventually, in the fall and winter time, when I'm bringing these plants back indoors, I'm going to be building a container just for them, just so they can house all that humidity. But stay tuned for the fall time for that one. What we have is yellow turmeric. Oh, I'm so excited about yellow turmeric. I know, I'm very excited about it, but I have also started turmeric from the store, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. But it's also, when you get them, it's going to be looking just like this. Another plant that I got right here is Galangal ginger. Now, normally you would find Galangal ginger in Asian countries. It is very used a lot in Thai cooking, in Laos, and I believe Indonesia. I love Thai food. I cook Thai food a lot, and I am very, very authentic with the foods. So why not grow my own Galangal? I'm so excited about this. The next plant is passion fruit. I'm super excited about this one. This one's a purple passion fruit. Now, in my culture, well, I'm half Colombian. So in Colombia, we love a lot of passion fruit. So I'm very excited to keep this plant alive. And there's going to be a lot of conditions that are required for these. So we're going to talk about them. These are going to be started indoors in my grow lights, where it's a lot warmer to keep them alive and allow them to thrive. Once it gets a lot warmer outdoors, then we're going to be transplanting them. By then, it's going to be a lot larger, and we're going to bring them outdoors for the entire summer. Before we start, let's take a trip to the supermarket. These are not organic, so it's going to be kind of hard, but not impossible. I'm looking for these little raised bumps on the sides of the ginger. That's going to tell you that that is where there's going to be a little sprout popping up. Take a paper towel, get it all wet with water, and then we're going to wrap that ginger. That is going to encourage those root growths. Change out the wet paper towel every few days, but also if it dries out, keep that paper towel moist. If you don't want to wrap them with the paper towel, then you can put them directly in the soil, like right here, but it's going to take a little bit longer. The turmeric that you see here, it is not organic. So I'm surprised that it actually started growing roots, because I bought that from the store. The turmeric from the root itself is going to take even twice as long, because the roots have to get established, which means the rhizome, before the plant starts to push out a leaf. Notice that my soil has a bunch of perlite in it. I want a lot more drainage. Being that I'm indoors and I'm putting them in containers, I have no compost. I don't want to bring outdoor compost here, so I have a generous helping of some worm castings to offer some extra nutrients. I'm going to blend that in, and now we can start filling our containers. Each of the plants that I bought came with 2 plants by itself. So after the soil, we're going to get our tags so we know what we're doing, because we are a lot more on time and we're definitely a lot more organized. All of these plants are tropical. They love humidity and they love the moisture, but this has to be able to drain. That is why I added a lot of perlite. If you're planting them directly in the ground, you don't have to worry about most of these things. This is going to be wanting a lot of moisture, but it also needs to drain heavily, so remember that. And FYI, the turmeric, the ginger, and the galangal, they all are going to get up to like 4 feet tall. So remember that. Keep that in mind. They love humidity. This is why they're a summer-loving plant. So you're going to treat it as if it was a purely summer. Loving the water, needing the water, and loving and needing the sun. So keep all that information in your head when it comes to placement of those containers. The turmeric that I ordered, I'm thinking that it was a piece of that little root and that it grew all the way to a bigger plant that you see here. They're both the same, they just grew from different starting points. And FYI, the turmeric, the ginger, and the galangal, They all are gonna get up to like 4 feet tall. So remember that. Keep that in mind. Root establishment and everything. This is fantastic. So now all I had to do was pot these up. It looks like they grew them from each little chunk. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is so cool. It's very hard to find galangal just to use on its own. You'd have to find that in Asian grocery stores. And on top of that, most likely it's probably going to be frozen because if they don't grow it, then they have to import it. We're just going to pop it right in there, cover it up. Same thing here, we're going to pot this all up. We'll put it right in the center. And then I have a little bit more soil that I can use. We're going to cover that up. And as it grows, you know, we just add more soil on top of it. The ginger grows the exact same way as the turmeric. This ginger has been growing for a lot longer time. That is why there's a lot of stems and leaves already established there. When I dig them up, you're going to see all of the roots that have really been continuing to grow. And this is exactly what the turmeric is going to look like. So check out them roots though. They look amazing. When you're potting them up and they look that big, please give them a lot of space inside of that container. Because wherever those roots grow, that is where those rhizomes is going to begin to start growing as well. On this rhizome, I noticed that there was a little piece that was just bulbing out that had its own root system. So I just snapped it off and now I have 2 pieces of ginger. This is what I love about rhizomes, and this is how you would propagate. Same thing here, we're gonna pot this all up. We'll put it right in the center. And then I have a little bit more soil that I can use. We're gonna cover that up. And as it grows, you know, we just add more soil on top of it. The turmeric rhizomes on the bottom are not going to take up nearly as much space as the ginger is, or the galangal. The galangal takes a lot of space. But the ginger, it can grow really big too down in the roots. So those containers have to be really big. Now you don't have to be circular. You can put them in different size containers. Just know that it's not going to be spreading the conventional way of like other plants. You're going to be eating those roots. Those roots are going to be spreading, the roots are going to be spreading laterally, not necessarily super deep. The galangal can get a little deep, but for the most part, the ginger and the turmeric, they grow wide. Okay, the passion fruit, the difference is that this one is not a rhizome. This one is in a completely different family of its own. Passion fruit, on top of that, is a vining plant. It gets tall, but it vines. It's going to vine like crazy. So this one definitely has to get planted outside and trellised. But for now, I'm just going to be potting them up. The passion fruit has regular roots. So they're going to look like any other root that has like long stringy roots. This one is a tropical plant. It does love humidity and it definitely does love moisture. But remember, it needs to drain out. This plant, I repeat, does not like the cold. It is a summer loving plant. So if you live in zones like 9, 10, like around Texas, Southern California, Florida, then you'd be able to pull off this plant outside with a little mulching and stuff. But if you're up north like I am, you got to bring that sucker inside. That is why it needs to stay in a container. We have Epic Gardening, Self-Sufficient Me, and Am I Gardener. Those are the top ones that I'm always watching on the regular for my own personal, interest and information. So they have done those and grown those outdoors. But I don't know if anyone's grown the passion fruit. So that's something down below. If you know another channel that has been like dabbling in passion fruit, let me know down in the comments so I can go check them out myself. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know I was very excited about it, but I'm really excited about these plants that I'm growing this year. So if you have tried these plants, let me know down in the comments below. Also, you can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until the next episode, you guys, where you and me both are going to be growing our happiness one plant at a time, one day at a time. I'll check y'all later in the next episode. Peace and love.